Wait for chat to start speeding up here. Get everyone on. Alright. Wait for chat to start speeding up here. How's it going, Mac? So, those who are watching so far, all that, my apologies for not doing a stream. This last month, I've been super busy with promotion at work, stuff like that, so I had to kind of put that on the sidelines along with the secret project that First Sergeant Kep and I were working on, which is those things right over there, the sharpshooter knapsacks. That's actually number 2 in production. Number 3 is in the other room, drying up. So yeah, how's it going, Jesse, James, Turnin? Yeah, so the knapsacks was a huge project between First Sergeant Kep and I, and turned out really well. So those who are wanting knapsacks outside of Company D, don't worry, we will definitely be selling them, making them and selling them for you guys. I just want to get my guys kitted out first, which, you know, like James, we'll talk price-wise, stuff like that, in the Facebook group. I'll be making a post on that here shortly, well, after the stream, stuff like that. And Indy, thank you. Thank you very much. Andrew, how's it going? Alden, not much, man. We just got started, so just talk about the knapsacks, why there was a lapse in streams this last month. Sarah, how's it going? But yeah, just figured we'd catch up a little bit, get everyone up to speed on what's been going on in the life of me and why we haven't been having a stream lately. Sorry if I'm kind of fidgeting around. I'm very low-key cleaning off my desk. James, I mean, we've known each other for how long, man? You know, I hope we can read each other's minds by now. But yeah, how's everyone been in the past month? It's been a while. Miss you guys. Miss doing this. Hopefully everyone's Thanksgiving was overfilling and everyone got into a food coma, hopefully. I sure as hell did. What's going on, Matt? Sorry I missed your call, man. I was getting ready to do the stream, so afterwards I might be able to work something out to where we can get this going, see what you had to show me. I mean, you had me interested on that Facebook message. Bill, how's it going? Glad to see you're on here. Maybe, man. I've been busy as hell. I'm busier than I was too, because I'll be working on been working on knapsacks like crazy, and we might have another project in the works, sharpshooter related, already besides knapsacks. So, God, James, it's been 10 years. Damn, 10 years, man. That's been nuts. Hoping to, Jesse. Hoping to. And yes, this will definitely have hair on it. It'll be coming back here shortly. Had to shave because work reasons, but good to go now, so. Oh, damn. Matt, that's awesome. That is really cool, man. That is really cool. Alright, so I think everything's getting going. Does anyone have any questions to ask? You know, like how's the company going? Questions about the knapsack project? I mean, anything. I'm pretty open person. James and Nikki can definitely agree to that. Jesse probably by now, with our group chats and all that, can definitely know. Fairly open person, so feel free to ask away before we get into, maybe some heavy discussion on, some, since we have yet to put out a couple videos today, so. Okay, so Indy and well, Nicholas. I'm gonna just, or Nick, whatever you prefer to go by, since you that name is way too long, man. So what got us started on the knapsack project? I mean, as a company as a whole, we kind of try to save money, but do it in a very productive way, a way that's authentic. Um, starting like sewing uniforms, first sergeant doing um, the woodworking, things like that. And we have a bunch of college kids, high schoolers, so obviously money's going towards rent, food, bills, things that you can live off of, since reenacting is a hobby. And the high school kids, jobs are far and few in between. So we started this project, actually really more fell into our lap. What happened was we had plans just mailed to us. And after looking at it, talking with First Sergeant Kep, we realized this is actually fairly reasonable to do. So we pooled some money together. We got a Elite Tandy membership, bought a bunch of leather, stuff like that. This was back in October. And then second weekend of November, drove over, and basically he and I nearly banged out a complete knapsack in 2 days. So basically with us, what we're going to be charging is at cost. So what we pay for in materials and the mess kit and all that is what we should be charging those in Company D for a knapsack, basically to help them out, get their impression to the next level, things like that. So yeah, Big Drive was basically to help those in Company D, but also help other sharpshooter reenactors. Not doing this as a huge business deal where they're going to be $500-$600. Jared and I don't want to get rich off this. We want to help our fellow reenactor, especially our fellow sharpshooter reenactor. Jesse, I'm still waiting on that book, man. So we'll get there. And Matt, yes, you do need a knapsack. So once I get Company D kitted out, we'll be set, man. Galaxy Hero, the Northwest Civil War Council, so our brothers to the south, basically. Way back when we were still members of the Oregon Club, they did fairly well. I wasn't terribly a big fan, though, of them pulling members of other units into that group. That was actually, honestly, I thought it was more of a pain in the ass than anything, but, I mean, they did pretty good. I can't knock it too much. Yep, James and Kalis Amuchastegi, for those who want to know how to pronounce that name. Yeah, he definitely has they definitely have the monopoly on Company D 2nd US. They jumped on it right off the bat. And Bill, very nice, man. Very nice. For a Sharps, trying to think. I got my Pedersoli from Cabela's, but everything else I've gotten from is a Gunbroker. I got James's Sharps for him off Gunbroker. I've gotten 2 of mine off Gunbroker. Corporal Hardaway's is off Gunbroker. Fortunately, it's just Sharps come far and few in between, so when you see one for a decent price, definitely jump on it. Jesse, I know, man. I know. I'm still waiting to hear from him, so we're getting there hopefully soon. My phone is loud as hell. Let's mute my speakers. How about that? All right, Matt. Yeah, you have a good one. There's a Confederate general in Oregon now. Why? It's not that big of a club or an area to really warrant a general, but I mean, as my grandpa likes to always kind of joke and say, if I go be impotent, I go look impotent. So I don't know why he does it in that voice, but it's always made me laugh even as a little kid. So all right, Jesse, I'm sure we can find some use for it. Actually, I know we could find a use for it. So. Indy, that's actually a really great question on the knapsacks. I'm obviously assuming, since Jared and I are the makers of the packs, we can really take our time, and we didn't put anything in place unless we made sure everything was measured properly, everything was even. There are some few little mistakes here and there, but nothing actually pretty major. If anything, it's just a stitch was just slightly out of line, or there was a little wave to the leather from when it was cut, things like that. But honestly, I feel our quality control was pretty damn good. I'm a perfectionist. I think it just runs in the family. So for basically the knapsack 001, I feel it turned out very well, and this guy right over here is actually turning out even better than the first one. I took what I learned from number one and have really been kind of just taking notes. Okay, get this stitched before this is tacked down and stretched and all that. So really had to kind of reverse engineer how I did it the first time, what worked, what didn't work, and what could I improve on, and basically what I needed to change up. Everything really is coming along a lot quicker. Oh, James, thank you for finding that for me. Thanks for make you a moderator in this. If I can do that. I don't know how to YouTube. I don't know how to technology. There's a reason why I reenact the Civil War. Springfields, Sutlers, Gunbroker, things like that. Sometimes even your oddball local pawn shop would even have them, just because people like to go out and buy random stuff and realize, oh, I don't want it anymore, or the wife or girlfriend's, why'd you buy that stupid piece of junk? Get rid of it. So, Sutlers, Gunbroker, online basically, and pawn shops. Definitely give that a try. I hope it works out. Realize
whoever
I don't want it
was
anymore,
asking about
or
that.
the wife or girlfriend's, why'd you buy that stupid piece of junk? Get rid of it. So, Sutlers, Gunbroker, online. Sam, I will definitely let you know what we do. Definitely give what we plan on doing. Might not be this next year. We'll see. Why'd you buy that? I'd like to get Company D out as a whole group. Maybe run a small van or a big van or something like that. Drive us all out. That'd be a lot of fun. Know what we do. What we plan on doing. Might not be this next. And Andrew, yes, practice. Especially with these packs, makes things like to get so much easier as a whole group. Maybe run a Dixie Gun Works, a big van or something like Nick said, is also a really good source to get some firearms from. Taylor's and Company is also a good one. They're the Army Sport, Army Chiappa importers of the United States. so that's always a good place. Yeah, Dixie Gun Works, a big van or something like Nick said, is also a really good source to get some firearms from. Yeah, Grant brought up a good point too. Fall Creek might also have them. Army Sport, Army Chiapa, importers of the United States, so that's always a good place. Yeah, Dixie Gun Works. Yeah, Nick, I'll be sure to do that after the live stream and all that. Make sure to remind myself. Yeah, Grant brought up a good point too. So I don't forget. Fall Creek might also have them. Army Sport, Army Chiapa, importers of the United States, so that's always a good place. Yeah, Dixie Gun Works. Yeah, Nick, I'll be sure to do that after the live stream and all that. Make sure to remind myself. Yeah, Grant brought up a good point too. Or written down. Fall Creek might also have them. Army Sport, Army Chiapa, importers of the United States. Sound is repeating in the background. Yeah, Dixie Gun Works. Yeah, Nick, I'll be sure to do that. That's not good, is it? The live stream and all that. Make sure to remind myself. Yeah, Grant brought up a good point too. Alright, we're written down. Just a second here, guys. Please be patient. Sound is repeating in the background. Yeah, Dixie Gun Works. Everything better? Yeah, Nick, I'll be sure to do that. That's not good, is it? The live stream and all that. Make sure to remind myself. Yeah, Grant brought up a good point too. Alright, we're written down. Just a second here, guys. Please be patient. Sound is repeating in the background. Yeah, Dixie Gun Works. Everything better? Yeah, Nick, I'll be sure to do that. That's not good, is it? The live stream and all that. Make sure to remind myself. Yeah, Grant brought up a good point too. Alright, we're written down. Just a second here, guys. Please be patient. Sound is repeating in the background. Yeah, Dixie Gun Works. Everything better? Yeah, Nick, I'll be sure to do that. That's not good, is it? The live stream and all that. Make sure to remind myself. Yeah, Grant brought up a good point too. Alright, we're written down. Just a second here, guys. In Indy, yeah. I just saw your background. Yeah, Nick, I'll be sure to do that. That's not good, is it? Better for everyone? I hope. In Indy, yeah. I just saw your Hang on a sec. Better for everyone? Exactly. I hope. Hmm. Well then. Let's see here. Hang on a sec. Better for everyone? Exactly. I hope. Hmm. Well then. Okay. Let's see here. Everything better now. Hopefully, switching to this, you guys can Okay. Plus, this keeps my ears warm, so. Alright, where are we? Everything better now. Hopefully, switching to this, you guys can Okay. Dear God. Plus, this keeps my ears warm, so. Alright, where are we? Everything okay, now. Sorry about that. Hopefully, switching to this, you guys can Okay. Plus, this keeps my ears warm, so. Alright, where are we?
Helps if I also hit apply to my my stuff.
Hopefully, switching to this, you guys can Okay.
Okay.
Plus, this keeps my ears warm, so. Alright, where are we?
Helps if I also hit apply to my why does this always want to do this? Like I said, I'm terrible with technology, so please forgive me. Okay.
Plus, this keeps my ears warm, so. Alright, where are we?
Helps if I also hit apply to my Seems like it's every other stream too we get this going, the same problem going. Like I said, I'm terrible with technology, so please forgive me. Okay. Helps if I also hit apply to my Seems like it's every other stream too we get this going, the same problem going. Like I said, I'm terrible with
Galaxy,
technology,
yes.
so
I did know that. Johnny Joyce, barefoot.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a lot of fun to play with. Seems like it's every other stream too we get this going, the same problem going. Like I said, I'm terrible.
Galaxy, yes.
Oh yeah, and Grant. Sorry, I'm
that.
looking
Johnny
up
Joyce,
through the chat.
barefoot. It's coming back. Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a lot of fun to play with. Mustaches, I mean. Seems like it's every other stream too. We get this going, the same problem going. Like I said, I'm terrible. Galaxy, yes. Oh yeah, and Grant. Sorry, I'm looking Johnny up through the chat. Barefoot. It's coming back. Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a lot of fun to play with. Mustaches, I mean. Seems like it's every other. Galaxy, yes. Boy, I love technology. It's the best when it works. He's a good guy. He's a lot of fun to play with. Mustaches, I mean. Hopefully the looping is stopping. I'm messing with the mic settings and audio settings here, so. Boy, I love technology. It's the best when it works. Hopefully the looping is stopping. I'm messing with the mic settings and audio settings here, so. Boy, I love technology. It's the best when it works. Hopefully the looping is. And Jesse's just creeping, taking screenshots. Mic settings and audio settings here, so. Boy, I love technology. It's the best when it works. Indy, very nice. Yeah, Dirty Billy makes some good stuff. Taking screenshots. Mic settings and audio settings here, so. Boy, I love technology. Excuse me. It's the best when it works. Still? Indy, very nice. Yeah, Dirty Billy makes some good stuff. Taking screenshots. See if I can look this up. Mic settings and audio settings here, so. Excuse me. Still? Indy, very nice. Yeah, Dirty Billy makes some good stuff.
So you've set up your OBS Studio profiles, load up your Twitch dashboard and change your stream title and game name,
James,
and get ready to stream. You click start streaming and greet your audience, most of whom, thankfully, haven't shown up. Then, like any good streamer, you use a second device to quickly check your video quality and audio levels, or perhaps a friend showed up early. This is when you find out that your stream is unbearable. There's this horrific echo happening and destroying your audio and any possibility of live stream fame.
But why should we be paying close attention to his YouTube?
What happened? Let's try to figure it out right after this.
Are you tired of your streams or voice chats sounding like this?
And securely to your existing headphones and fits with sounds a little something like this. Check the link in the video description to learn more. I'm AplesVox, here to make tech easier and more fun, and welcome back to my OBS Studio tutorial course. I have many more videos.
Okay. So let's try this.
Okay. Okay. Hopefully you guys can hear me now. Okay, cool. So I think, so if no one heard this, I think I had my gaming headset set to a chat. That's where we're getting the double feed from, because it's also coming from my webcam, which is normally what it's set up through. So I think that's where we were getting a loop. And yes, I was watching a tutorial on how to fix it. So, and yeah, so fun times. And then of course I unplugged it and then forgot to reset it back to the webcam speaker. So good times, good times. Anyways, where were we? uh, wow, yeah, this completely got me flustered. Now I'm trying to remember exactly where we were at with everything. Yeah, and then for some reason, the audio for the tutorial was playing for you guys, but my speakers are muted, so. James, yes, thank you. It was Grant asking about fabric. If you want to do stateside for quality fabric, Wamba White and Company is pretty good. They do Union and Confederate materials. If you're looking for strictly Confederate stuff, B&B Tart is also a really good choice. Charlie Childs, he does do material. I'm not sure if he has any in stock right now. I know he it's very hit and miss, at least from what I've seen checking on his website, stuff like that, but it's always, you know, an option. Yeah, Flying versus Farm, you're absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And yes, to Galaxy Hero. Getting better at remembering names, this is fun. Yeah, Johnny Joyce, the president of the WCWA. Yeah, I know he does a lot down in Oregon. I think he actually does every Oregon event, if I'm not mistaken. Jesse, that picture is terrifying, man. Wow. Sorry, guys. Andrew, yes, you're probably absolutely correct. That's probably why I like reenacting Civil War, because there's no technology really, so to speak of, like computers, things like that. That's why I have two roommates that are tech geeks. I have an issue, they can fix it. And one of them rips their pants at work or something like that, I'll sew it for them, or, you know. Make everything work one way or another. Avis, yes. Sleep for me is a very rare and precious thing. Indy, Jared's getting on it. It's actually for Jesse here in the chat. The knapsack kind of really made a huge deal for he and I, so we kind of focused a lot of efforts on that for the short being, but he'll be getting to it here before long, I'm sure. And yeah, James, go for the subject or topic. Sorry again for yawning, everyone. I think I'm going off about 2 hours of sleep, so. Andrew, I'm sure I got well, I'm 26, so I still got a little whiles ahead of me before thinking about retirement. Yeah, Alden, if you guys got a website or Facebook or something like that, yeah, definitely. Yeah, so Alden, go to our website, second USSS USSS.com. There's so many S's in that damn thing, I always forget every time. And shoot me an email and with your website information and stuff like that. And yeah, I'll definitely, next video I do, I'll do a shout out for you guys. Especially to tell someone to stop bringing chocolate milk into camp. I mean, I do like chocolate milk also, but yeah. Well, Andrew, congratulations. And yes, more coffee. So as James Soderling said, the Company D enlistment reports, there are a lot of people on there listed as seamen. Company D did come from Maine, so obviously a maritime culture, and most of the, as I understand, most of the population of Maine lives on the coast. That would make sense. So a sailor, basically anyone on a ship, this at least is for how I've read and understood things, anyone on a ship is a seaman. Then you have your specialty on that ship. So a cook, a deckhand, a gunner, someone up in the rigging. The name is escaping me right now. I'm sure someone hopefully will know that. They're typically listed as a seaman. And basically, a seaman is just, you know, your grunt worker on a ship. So yeah, when you guys look at enlistment reports and see the occupations of people, some things are very unique and very, you know, like I didn't know they would have had that at the time, or I didn't know that had its own very specific name for the period for whatever, you know, the occupation is. But there are some that are really crazy. I saw one once. I forget the regiment and the company and all that, but the man was a horseshoer. Didn't make horseshoes. He would have been a blacksmith. His only job was to shoe horses. And that was his occupation. It was really weird. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with the whole the Navy at the time of the Civil War, both Union and Confederate. Just obviously, sharpshooters has pulled a lot of my. Thank you, Jesse. I knew there was a name for it, but his actually wasn't even farrier. It was literally horseshoer, unless the person who was just didn't know any better. I mean, it's a possibility. But yeah, I knew there was a name for it. I just completely spaced it. But yeah, I need to find that again. I have it saved somewhere in my documents, and I'll share it with you. It's hilarious. He was 5'3", was 27 years old, and was a horseshoer. Short little guy. Well, I mean, for the standard, or for the average height at the time, he was probably just actually somewhat short. Yep, exactly. Flying versus farm. Yeah, farriers are not blacksmiths. Blacksmiths do their own thing. Farriers are completely separate from that. And James, as far as I understand, I'm sure this will make people giggle, but a seaman is a seaman on any kind of ship, unless you're a submariner or submariner. That's at least how I understand. We could talk to our Navy guys that we have in the club, but I mean, I don't really need to state much, do I, James? About that specific impression in our club. Yeah, and I probably won't do a really long live stream today. I do need to eat, get some stuff done, work on the other pack, things like that. Plus, didn't get much sleep, but we'll keep this going. It's not going to be a little half-hour stream. I'm definitely not a sissy on that. Been away for a month. I miss you guys. I miss this every other week. Yeah, right, James? Right? Anyone who reenacts in Washington knows about the Tahoma land ship. So, Buffalo Bear BP. So, your question about joining reenacting. Definitely. It's a fun hobby to get into. Like Jesse said, look up the Civil War recruitment on Facebook. Find a local unit, get in with them. I definitely suggest, though, working through the ranks. To be an officer, it's a lot of work. A lot of drill, knowing how to conduct drill, how to conduct a company in a camp, things like that. There is a lot of work that goes into it. Either on one of these live streams or a video, I'll be, I did the duties of a captain, but I'll actually go into what actually makes a company run as a company commander or an officer in a reenacting unit, things like that. But no, man, start off as a private. Have fun first. Do not, don't punish yourself as an officer right out of the get-go. It'd be actually a lot more harder for you to be an officer starting off than going straight to a private and working your way up. Flying versus farm. Oh yeah, there's definitely a lag when it comes to the off season. I try to keep myself busy, do research, make crazy stuff like knapsacks, sew a lot. And yeah, Jesse, more responsibility, absolutely. I mean, for me, I keep pretty busy with work, and then working on projects here, hanging out with my roommates, playing video games. Some of our friends that live, out of town now, stuff like that. So I try to keep pretty busy, and it makes the off season go by. I wish we actually had a winter event, but unfortunately, it happens. Yeah, honestly, I think the most fun reenacting I've ever had is either being a private or was being first sergeant of Company D. I think those were my two favorite ranks, private and first sergeant. I mean, don't get me wrong, like James and Turnin, like I love commanding you guys, I love leading you guys, but they both know as well, if I can get away with being a private at any time I can do it, I will happily take that chance. Because as everyone's been saying, you know, privates don't have to worry about stuff. There's no responsibilities for them. So, but being a company commander isn't all that bad either. It's just more responsibility. Okay, you know what? I'm going to do a video on that eventually. Because I'm thinking all these things, and I would go into this huge, long discussion about it, which, I mean, we can do, you know, if you guys want, we can kind of delve into that a little bit. I'd be happy to, but I do it for, I'd also save a lot of it for an actual full-length video for everyone. In Battle Bear, yeah, I mean, not everyone's cut out to be an NCO or an officer or anything like that in reenacting, let alone the real military. Richard III, yeah. I would love to do a winter quarters event. Yeah, James. Yeah, I mean, up here today it was 20 degrees. I mean, the highest it got was 34. And the sun's already gone down, stuff like that. When I went to work this morning, it was 20 degrees. But, I mean, if we could do cabins, that'd be the way to do it. A winter event. Cabins with a fireplace. We're gonna have to work on that. We need to find some property, man. Or maybe Sweet Talk, Horseshoe Bend. See if we'd be able to do something kind of cool like that. And Grant, yeah. Yeah, privates get to go pew pew pew. I mean, granted, you know, anytime one of our guys is down on the field, I'll just grab their rifle and some cartridges and some caps, and I'll carry a rifle. I love being a rifleman. I miss it. In fact, James, look up TA Outdoors wood pallet cabin. It's an English father and son. They actually made a, I mean, it's a one person, but you could probably squeeze 2 people in there, honestly. But yeah, you'll see what I'm talking about when we get through, or when you look that up. Indy, very nice. Yeah, cabins, I mean, in the Pacific Northwest, the west side is always known for, you know, being, you know, rainy and cloudy, but the east side is a very high desert, into Idaho and all that, and mountainous. So it gets cold, really cold in the winter. You get, you know, wind that blows out of the north, and it'll freeze you. It will freeze you. Yeah, lots of wool blankets. I mean, my grandpa and I used to wall tent hunt, you know, April, stuff like that, for turkey, and in the winter, the fall time, you know, late October, November, up in the mountains for deer. And, you know, we would have a wood stove and, you know, 2-hour watch, you know, each person every 2 hours we're feeding that fire as much as possible, because if that fire went out, even with really, really good sleeping bags, it gets absolutely freezing cold and miserable. Yeah, so blankets is actually a good one. In fact, they've already covered it, but the 11th Ohio Volunteer Cavalry, the 11th OVC, they have an excellent video actually on blankets that they put out. But yeah, I would be more than happy to delve onto some blankets. So the ones I found are probably the best, the absolute best, like they were talking about in their video, is the, in fact, James can attest to this, because he's used Corporal Hardways, is the blanket from Nick Cicala, and my very rare blanket, because it was the very last one that SNS Sutler sold out of Gettysburg. The issue blankets, I feel, are by far the best. Civilian blankets, the few that I've seen, the at least quality ones, have a lot of cotton in them, not a lot of wool, so you do get cold. And I get cold very easily, so the heavier the blanket, the happier I am. But James, you did miss out, however, on one other kind of blanket, and that is the greatcoat. Especially for winter, you know, spring, fall, winter events. Greatcoats make a fantastic friggin' blanket. You know, especially with the cape, you know, kind of just curl up in a fetal position, have your ground cloth down on the ground, have your blanket, roll those over you, then you take your overcoat and lay that over you, and then you take the cape and throw it over your head. I'm getting warm just thinking about it. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm actually getting colder. My room does not keep heat very well. Also, the fact I need food desperately. But yeah, issue blankets and emergency blankets for at least federal impressions are fairly good, and you know, a mixture of that along with civilian blankets for Confederate, like coverlets, stuff like that, would be pretty pretty standard for a Confederate impression. Dear God. Oh, the whoopee. Jesse, you lucky bastard. I want a whoopee. Yeah, Indy, you're absolutely right. That cape can be a hood, especially in rainy weather. It's the beauty about wool. It still keeps you warm even when it's wet. And Grant, yes, a nightcap also definitely helps. Preferably a wool, like a wool knit nightcap. Yeah, James even just said, yeah, I love my nightcap. That thing has kept me warm more times at events than I can count. Especially since I'm a weird person, I absolutely cannot sleep with socks on. It drives me nuts. And James, I also want to see what you guys could come up with if you guys actually did a wool quilt. That'd be really cool to see. I'd pay you guys to make me one. I'd be afraid to take it to events, but it'd be used here. In fact, here's a fun subject. How to stay warm at events at night. So, from someone who gets cold a lot, what I like to do is you'll take your ground cloth. So, only paper I have available on my thing is some dollar bills. So, here's your ground cloth. It's not an exact, you know, to scale representation. So you lay it flat on the ground like this. Take your blanket. You lay half of your blanket on your ground cloth like so. You fold your blanket long ways. Take your other side of the ground cloth that's loose and fold that over. So you kind of have this almost like a meat tube because you're going to be laying in it. It's a meat tube. So, and I'll be sure to actually do a video on this, especially when the snowballs start flying around here. So you have this sleeping bag in a way that's waterproof, and the tarring on your ground cloth or your gum blanket will actually keep you warm because it'll trap heat. And you have these grommets all around your ground cloth. So what I'll do is I'll take some string or twine, whatever is available at events, because they lay out company streets. But I always carry some heavy-duty string with me, and I'll tie it through the grommets, and that way it keeps your ground cloth really nice and snug and tight, and your feet won't poke out through the bottom because you also fold your bottom of your blanket over like that, and it keeps you in. Then keep your trousers on. If you have a vest, wear your vest. I usually like to use my coat as just my normal coat as a pillow. So I'll put that down. I'll have the nightcap on. I'll take my scarf and just kind of fold it so both ends meet, wrap it around my neck, put it through the loop, make sure it's all nice and tight. Well, not tight, but snug. You don't want to choke yourself in the middle of sleeping. Wouldn't be great. So after that, kind of wiggle your way into your burrito bed, as Indy said. Take your overcoat, pull it up, take the cape, throw it over your head, get comfortable how you do, sleep on your side, your back, your stomach, whatever works for you, and yeah, start cutting some logs, cutting some Z's, That's at least what I do. You guys are more than welcome to try it out. It's definitely not my idea. It was passed down to me way back when, I think when I was my first or second year into reenacting. So someone else will sit up a little more. But I will actually be sure to do a video on that. It's actually something I've been wanting to do, but I've been waiting for it to actually get colder out. So yeah, staying warm at events. Need to do that. Okay. Wade, thank you. Yeah, all this stuff's written down, but it's better to see it in person, or at least through a video, because you actually understand the how-tos and stuff like that. So thank you. It means a lot. I'll be sure to pass that on to Jared. Jesse, you lucky bastard. Yeah, man, get some sleep, or try to get some sleep. You sleep about as much as I do, if not less. Which I thought was impossible, that someone could sleep less than I do. A buddy heater? What's that, Grant? Unless it's like a portable heater. I could be wrong. Yeah, I agree with Richard III. East Coasters are so lucky with how close they are to all the battlefields and museums and references and stuff like that. Yeah, take it easy, Jesse. Have fun in G-Bird, man. Okay, cool. Yeah, I normally just hear like portable heater or stuff like that, so buddy heater terminologies throw me off a little bit, but we're on the same page. Yeah, my grandpa and I used to take a portable propane heater when he and I would go fishing on Lake Roosevelt here in Washington in the wintertime, and yeah, never really worked out well. Because we'd be enclosed and we'd start kind of getting lightheaded because of the fumes and all that. We're like, oh, okay, maybe we should stop. It wasn't a great heater, so bundling up was a bigger help. Also chatting with my roommate in the other room over Facebook for, hey Mustang, how's it going? Andrew, very nice. But yeah, I was just chatting with my roommate on what are we doing for dinner tonight, so. Huh. India, I might have to try that. Granted, most of our rocks that we can find around here are typically out of a river, and yeah, heating up rocks from a river is not the best idea. But yeah, we'll definitely, well, we'll definitely try that. Anything to keep me warm. I mean, hell, it's not even the dead of winter yet, and I have 4 blankets on my bed, and I still get cold, so. Andrew, that's awesome. Yeah, I've only been to the Antietam, Gettysburg, and the Overland battles, but, and of course, like, you know, first bull run, second bull run, stuff like that, but nothing on the peninsula. I need to get back east and do that, along with the stuff in the south and in the west. Mustang, yeah, I was able to. Very nice looking, man. Looks fantastic. Revolutionary War uniforms are so cool. Okay, Andrew, that makes so much more sense now. Yeah, especially the Malvern Hill. So I was just playing Ultimate Civil War General, the computer game, just because I like RTSs. And I just got done with Malvern Hill. However, I'm playing a second time through as the Confederate side. And yeah, the first U.S. sharpshooters are actually listed on there. It was really cool. Fortunately, I had to wipe them out. Changed history, and the Confederates actually won the Battle of Malvern Hill. Yeah, Thor's Hammer. I definitely need to get back to Shiloh. Well, basically all of them in Tennessee, you know, Mississippi, Georgia, stuff like that. I have family in Tennessee as well, so actually Nashville, little town outside of Nashville, literally called Little Town. Anyways, I'm rambling. Sorry. Oh, Appomattox would be really cool. I've yet to also be there, sadly. That's part of the overland that I wasn't able to get to. Yeah, 800 for a coat like that. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. It looks like an absolute beautiful coat. I'd love to see it in person. It's actually more expensive than my frock, and I thought my frock was god-awful. Because I have about 600 invested in my frock. So, probably a lot more work goes into making a Continental coat. I'm sure all the facings and stitching and everything like that, and all the little flair that goes on it. Oh my god, excuse me. Richard III, I've only played War of Rights. I don't even have it on my computer. Played it, oddly enough, one of my friends who does not do anything Civil War, and I enjoyed it. I'm not a big fan of those kind of games, but Company D, if we all get on board and we all play at once, I think that would probably draw me into playing it a lot more. My roommates and my really close friends here, we play a lot of Rainbow Six Siege, so that takes up most of my computer gaming time. Grant, I'm not going to Bedford. I'm actually not even sure where that's at. I'm sorry. Oh, that sounds like a miserably cold night. Yeah, wind. Oh, wind is the worst thing when it's cold out. Day, night, and then trying to sleep in it without a greatcoat or a frock. At least you made it. Congratulations. Shell jackets? Battle Bear? Shell jackets would have been, I don't want to say fairly common, but also not rare. I mean, soldiers did wear them. I'm just not sure to exactly what extent. It was definitely more of a private purchase item from what I understand. Yes, the Schuylkill Arsenal, or sorry, Schuylkill Arsenal, I still pronounce it wrong from time to time, please forgive me. They did produce jackets, infantry jackets, stuff like that, shell jackets. Grant. Oh yeah, so beds. 2 cots and an air mattress. I mean, I prefer no air mattress. I do have a Civil War era style cot, but I mean, I'm not one of those purists where it's like, no, you have to camp exactly how they did. But if the public does not see, I don't see a big issue with that. If the public or the scenario or the camp style, if everyone's in dog tents and you're the only one in an A tent with, your air mattress and stuff like that, I would kind of shy against that. Oh yeah, yeah. If Bedford's in Virginia, I'm definitely not going to be able to get out that way anytime soon. And sleet and snow. Yeah, that sounds pretty awesome. Yeah, Richard III, we actually had a similar thing happen a few years ago here in Washington. Our company Fly, my tent, my Fly got hit pretty hard. And a bunch of other tents. People were missing poles, even ropes, stuff like that. So it does happen. Oh, and you had no tents with all that fun. Hey, talk about getting the full experience like they would have. I'll definitely give War of Rights a try. Absolutely no promises, but we'll see. Like I said, most of my time's caught up with, doing packs, and I got quite a bit of sewing projects coming my way this off season. So, yes, thank you, James. It was a micro tornado. I knew there was a more technical term, but yeah, it was basically a small tornado that came and hit very briefly. It was so much fun, and it was on a Saturday. In fact, everyone just most of everyone just packed up and left that day because it was so terrible. Yeah, Thor's Hammer, that sounds awesome, man. Miserably awesome. Lowell? Lowell? So, uh, Lowell Bush. Somewhat. First Sergeant Kep's favorite thing about dog tents was a soldier once stated that the only use a dog tent has in the rain is to filter the water. If that gives you any indication. At least if you do a proper style cotton drill, not a canvas, heavy canvas dog tent or shelter half. Hey, Ham, what's going on? Glad you could make it to the stream. Oh my God, excuse me. Yeah, Turnan's been in, I mean, always has camped in a dog tent, even in some pretty bad weather. When I first started out as a private, one of my last events of my first season, we had typical Western Washington downpour, and I stayed fairly okay in my dog tent. Wasn't too bad. I got bored, but Alden, summertime. No, they typically didn't carry their tents. If they did, they actually probably used it as an extra blanket, because it was extra weight. I believe a shelter half, I want to say, is 2 pounds, and if soldiers were, cutting inches off their blankets to save weight, I don't think a shelter half would have made it very far. Honestly, a gum blanket or a tarred ground cloth actually does a lot better as a shelter than a canvas tent. Well, Thor's Hammer, congratulations. That's awesome. Oh yeah, Turner, wasn't that at Roy? The Roy event when we had that thunderstorm? Sounds about right. It was either that or one of the first years at Deep Creek when we had a thunderstorm in May, of all times. Thunderstorm season here where I live is typically late June, July, and August. Yeah, that's right. Forgot all about that. Oh, I've seen the footage, Nick, of the sharpshooters in that. They They did a good job on it. Settler style tents, like the huge tents, Ham? Or are you talking just about like wall tents? Yeah, I've heard Perryville is a really good event. I'd love to get to it when I get a good basic federal or Confederate impression, so I can do either side of for Perryville. And that'd be a lot of fun to do. Yeah, I mean most of my generic kit, anyways, that I would be able to put together Thor is or Thor's hammer, Thor's hammer, whatever works for you. Because you know I still have my enlisted belt, cap pouch, bayonet scabbard, brogans, knapsack, haversack, canteen, stuff like that. So yeah, I'd probably do just basic federal. Just need blue trousers, sack coat, and Kentucky would be Western Theater, so probably a Hardy or something like that, or a modified Hardy. I do like Hardys. Give me an excuse to finally buy one. Yeah, I've been to one national event, Ham. It was the 150th Gettysburg. Unfortunately, it was the GAC, so take it as you will. Still blew me away. Absolutely fantastic. And yeah, I know I'm sitting weird, everyone. I'm sorry, I'm just stretching my back out. Yeah, Jeremiah Johnson would be a good one, too. I've actually seen someone take coals out of a fire, put it in their canteen half, had another canteen half on top. They just completely tied around it, and then like use that as a little space heater almost, and they're um, like under their blanket. Sorry, I completely spaced on the word I was thinking of, and it was a blanket. Lowell, or Lowell. Yes, modern canvas is absolute farb. Cotton drill is the way to go. 89 boy, thoughts on Zouaves? It's a cool uniform. I'm partial to the 146 New York, the Gerard's Tigers Zouaves, the light blue with the yellow. But the 5th New York, Durier's Zouaves, also is a very nice, sharp-looking uniform. I'd love to do a Zouave impression just for, you know, the fun of doing one. Definitely would go to Kelly Ford or Kyle Windall for Zouave impressions. It'd be so much fun. Oh. Cracked your spine? Wow. Makes my back hurt. Yeah, James, Same. Hardys are so cool. Yeah, Andrew, I've also heard about that too, digging up or heating up rocks and putting them under a layer of dirt. 89 Boy. So if you go on Facebook, look up Kelly Ford, or K Windall, WINDH or AHL. Those are two fantastic people that do Zouave uniforms. They are the best in the business. And do I like private or public events more? It's a toss-up. I like them both. Private events, you can do quite a lot more outside of the eye of the public. You know, if it's like us as sharpshooters doing it, you know, we can do bayonets, can use ramrods, stuff like that. Yeah, Richard, I've had the same thing happen with me too on the field, taking a hit. Insects all over the place. It's always great too when you know who the arachnophobes are when they get a spider crawling on them and you hear, ah! Stuff like that. Cough, Corporal Hardaway, cough. Yeah, James hit it right on the head. Private for immersion, public for educating. Well, I'm glad that you're back at getting at it. I mean, it sounds like one hell of an injury, man. At least you're able to walk. Could have been a lot worse. 89 Boy, I'm sure it'll go fine. Just make sure you have standards, plans, you know, make sure you share what you want out of everything, you know, setup wise with who all shows up. Huh. A large fire, then cover the coals with a couple layers of dirt. Might have to try that, Ham, one of these times. I know someone who has a burn pile. Be pretty interesting to try. Um, 89 Boy, we have not. So, well, actually, we kind of have. Kind of did a little war game this last summer, and our corporals were the masterminds of it. So they were kind of judging more on, you know, if someone's out in the open, standing still, and they're shot at, are they dead? wounded, stuff like that. And that was so much fun. Yeah, indie, absolutely. It has always been the standard of, you know, if it ain't raining, you ain't training, and embrace the suck. Ooh. Yeah, see, like, I'm not an arachnophobe, but the second, like, a lot of spiders are on me or something like that, I'll get a little not okay with it. Depending on the spider, that is. If it's a hobo spider or anything like that, yeah, get it the hell off of me. Or brown recluse. We get hobos, which are similar to brown recluses, and yeah, no. Hell no. Twin River. What all happened to that one, Thor's Hammer? Be very interested to see what all went on with that one. Alden. So, yeah, we'll kind of farb out when it comes to meals at events. We'll do modern, but we'll try to keep it a very period modern. You know, we're not cooking up, you know, Pop Tarts or stuff like that over the fire. Soups, mostly, is a big one. It's easy. It's, you know, fairly easy to clean up with afterwards. But we do have members in our club, not just unit, but in our club that do eat period rations. Sometimes things spoil on them. They do get sick. Daniel Coley, I mean, if you're ever in Washington in the summertime, let us know. Yeah, no chocolate milk. We do have a Private Severson, though, who does like his apple juice. So you got chocolate milk, and we got apple juice, so I feel you there. Yes, and Mrs. Soderling cooks absolutely fantastic food. Pie. That pie was great. I miss Mandy's cooking, James. If you can't tell. Wow. 800 plus private tactical event. That's incredible. I'll definitely have to look into that event. Yeah, I need to get down your guys' way and visit. It's been too long. Miss you guys. It's like us as a company need to hang out at least once a month or something like that. Company as a whole. If only we all lived closer. Oh no, Thor's Hammer. That sounds absolutely... Oh, pardon my French, but that sounds fucking fantastic. A 6 long day event with 800 people. Tactical. Oh, that's things I dream about. Yeah, Alden, you have a good one. Have fun at class. And yeah, look forward to your email. Yeah, absolute best week ever. God, that'd be so much fun. Can definitely understand. Yeah. I'm just trying to picture that. Sounds absolutely incredible. Oh, horse-drawn artillery. You lucky bastard. That is always the coolest thing is horse-drawn artillery. Oh, you did, James. I'm all ears. What you got? Some CAD stud. Look forward on learning that one too. It'd be fun. You always find the good games, so. Oh, ow. Whew. Okay. Cool. Yeah, James, I look forward to that. Sounds like it'd be a real good time. I mean, it always is in camp, so. Have a good one, Indy. See you on the next stream. Oh, God. It sounds like such a cool event, Thor's. That is so cool. Sorry, I'm just letting the chat fill up so I can... Wow. God, that event sounds so cool. Richard III, I try to stream every other week. Typically Wednesday, Thursday. So, like, next one would probably be the 19th or 20th of this month. But, oh yeah, shooting after dark, it happens. But I'm getting pretty hungry, also pretty tired. So I'm probably gonna call it quits for this stream at least. Next one will definitely be a lot longer. I'll try and get some food in me before I do it. So, can do a full 2-hour stream next time. But yeah, I'll make sure to post it up here on the channel and all that before we do it. And then also be up on our Facebook chat or Facebook page as well. So everyone keep an eye out for that. How's it going, Brian? Unfortunately, I'm about to actually sign off on here. And I honestly can't say. I don't know how much a cavalry horse would have carried. I can definitely find out, though. I'll actually write it down, and next stream I do, which will be the 19th or 20th, around the same time. And I'll make sure to let you know on that. But anyways, it's been awesome chatting with you guys. Thor's Hammer, thank you so much for the awesome story about that event. Next stream I do, please, 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 please try and jump in. It'd be so much fun to talk more about it. And yeah, I'll definitely check out the Great Stands and the Perryville event. I mean, who knows, maybe we can meet up and kick some ass together. That'd be a lot of fun. And yes, Merry Christmas to all. Be a lot closer to Christmas next stream. So be a lot of fun. So anyways, you guys have a great night. Those on the East Coast, especially since it's about 8:30 over there. So you guys have a good one. And yeah, if you guys got events coming up, stay warm. So anyways, you guys have a good night. Have a good one. Bye.